In this video, we're going to take a look at how my dividend portfolio performed in the month of February 2023. So we'll be looking at all the transactions I made, all the companies I bought throughout the month, and also all the dividends I received. And then we're also going to look at some other metrics like the dividend yield and dividend growth rate, and also compare my performance for the month to the overall market, and then look at how the portfolio has performed over the last year against the overall market. So now we're in my portfolio spreadsheet, and we're going to take a look at a few things before we actually update all the transactions for this month. So the first things we're going to take a look at is dividend increases we got this month. And as we can see, we got 4 different ones here. The first one was from Coca-Cola, about 4.5% for that dividend increase, which is, I would say, exciting because that is higher than their 5-year average rate. And then the next one is from 3M, less than 1% increase there. But there was actually some sort of good news that came out around 3M today that basically 90% of people that were affected by the earplug lawsuit didn't have really any hearing loss. So that's obviously good for those people and good for 3M and 3M shareholders. And then the next dividend increase was from Cisco, about 2.6%. Over the last few years, I certainly have been a little disappointed by Cisco's increases, but I'll certainly take it. And then the last one here is from Air Products and Chemicals. I mentioned this one last month in that video, but it hadn't actually come through to the spreadsheet yet. So that was about 8%, which is very exciting for sure. And we can look down here before we make any updates. The annual projected income is $105.90 with the portfolio value at $3,865. And then this is a look at the sectors, equity by sector and dividend income by sector, if anyone wants to pause and take a look. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look into Fidelity, and these are all my transactions for the month filtered out from February 1st to the 28th. And I'm just going to download all of these into a CSV file, and now we can come back into the spreadsheet and import those transactions. And once those transactions are imported, I'll run a script that I actually wrote, and it'll parse all that data and put it into the right spots in the spreadsheet for us to see. So we'll just select this here and import the data, and then I'll be able to run this script. And if you guys are interested in maybe possibly using these scripts for your spreadsheets, I have posted them on GitHub, and I've made sort of tutorials on how to use them. So if you are interested, definitely check those out. It's all free, and I'd be more than happy to answer any questions if you do run into any issues or have any problems along the way. But I'll just wait for this script to finish running and then come back and share the results with you guys. So the script finished running, and we can see we deposited our normal $150, and we made buys worth $169, which we'll look at in a second, and we received dividends worth $9.47, which we'll also look at in just a minute. And these are all of our transactions here, but I'll actually go into this sheet right here, and we can kind of look at it on a bit of an aggregated basis, which should help us just gain a better understanding of what actually happened. So we're just filtering out the dates to February 1st to the 28th, and we can see which stocks we bought this month. So if we look down here, we obviously have our $150 cash deposit, and then this month we invested about $100 into Johnson & Johnson, about $50 into Southern Company, and then about $10 each into Aflac and Travelers. Aflac and Travelers are both insurance companies, and they weren't particularly at attractive prices or anything, but I hadn't bought them in a while, so I wanted to buy a little bit more. I have a policy where if I haven't bought a company for over a year and I want to own it for the long term, then I'll buy some more incrementally just to increase my position over time, even if the price isn't super attractive. So again, a lot invested into Johnson & Johnson this month, which was a theme from last month as well, if you do remember. But that is pretty exciting, I think, just to see that continue to be at an attractive price and, give us more opportunities to invest. And then if we go here to the dividend payments tab, we can scroll down to look at all the individual dividends that we've received. And if we start out in February, the first one was from AT&T, $1.42. The next one was from Carrier Global, 48 cents. Air Products and Chemicals, $1.56. AbbVie, $2.17. Procter & Gamble, $1.29. Apple, 48 cents there, almost a whole $0.50 a quarter from Apple, which is pretty exciting. They pay a pretty small dividend, relatively speaking, but that's all right. And then Caterpillar was the last one with $1.32. And then we did get some interest on our cash of 75 cents. And then looking at the charts here, the first one is dividends by month, and it's going back almost 3 years now. And we can see that amounts just are steadily increasing. I used to have the individual amounts listed on each bar, but it was getting so cluttered I had to remove it. And then the next chart here is quarterly dividends, obviously only the second month of the quarter, so $17.48 received so far this quarter. I'm sure we will surpass the $24 we got last quarter. And then on the year, obviously $17.48 so far, almost surpassing full year 2020 dividends already, which is pretty exciting. And actually, looking at this, I can't believe that this is the fourth year of dividend investing for me. It's pretty exciting to say the least. And then another chart that I wanted to look at, we can take a look at, is ticker changes. So this is just going to show us which companies performed the best for us this month and which companies performed the worst. Obviously, a 1 month performance isn't that significant, but it is interesting to look at for sure. So if we sort this here, we can see the worst performing stock this month was Air Products and Chemicals, which was down 10%. Haven't really been buying that at all. It's still, I would say, fairly overvalued right now, or at least not undervalued per se. And then Johnson & Johnson, which we bought a lot of, was down about 7.8%, 7.7%, sorry. And then Southern Company, which we bought a little bit of, was down about 8.4%. So that's pretty exciting. Most companies weren't up all that much. Only 4 companies were up for the month, with AbbVie being the best, up almost 5%. So nothing too drastic there. But I think it is interesting to look at. And then the next tab here is value over time. And this kind of just gives us a showcase of the value every single day. So my spreadsheet will log the value of the portfolio every single day, and we can see where it's at. So, back about a year ago when I started this in February of 2022, as you can see, the portfolio was only valued at $2,000. And over time, through contributions, capital appreciation, and dividends, it's now up at $4,000, which is really exciting. So that's where that is at. And we can see, obviously, dividend income steadily going up over time as well. And then, unfortunately, dividend CAGR has been going down. We are going to be focused more on that, I think, in the coming year. That's going to hopefully happen, and I definitely need to be deliberate with that, but I think I can make it happen. And then finally, coming back to the summary, our projected dividend income is $111.31, so almost up $6, I think about $5.50 from all these transactions this month. So that's pretty exciting, I think, to see the portfolio now valued at $4,020.18, and the portfolio yield is 2.87%, and yield on cost is 3.36%, which is pretty exciting. It means we have some dividend increases and also some capital appreciation from our stocks. So the final thing we'll look at on the spreadsheet is just an overview of all the companies. If you want to pause here and look at any of them individually that I own, you can look at how many shares I own, how much I received in dividends, what my dividend yield and yield on cost is, what the equity amount is, and what percent of the portfolio it is. Just some interesting metrics there. If anyone wants to pause and take a look, you're more than welcome. That is an open book for anyone to see. And then now we're going to go back to Fidelity and take a look at the performance of the portfolio versus the overall market. So this right here shows some performance for my portfolio. So this row right here is my portfolio, and then down here it shows some market indexes. We mainly would compare to the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones. So over the past month, in February, my portfolio was down 2.6%, while the overall market was down more like 2.3 to 2.4%. So my portfolio did underperform just a tiny bit. And over the past 3 months, the market is down anywhere from 1.7% if you're looking at the Dow to 2.3% if you're looking at the S&P 500. And my portfolio was down more like 3.1%. So again, a little bit of underperformance over the past 3 months and 1 month, and also year to date. But if we look back over the past year, my portfolio is actually up 6.2%, while the overall market is down 7.7% in the case of the S&P and 8.2% in the case of the Dow. So definitely beating the market fairly handily, I would say, over the past year. But the past few months have not been as good, which on the one hand isn't as big of a deal, but on the other hand, if the trend continues, that's not good either. I think in general, my portfolio probably performs better when the market is down in relation to the market, and when the market is going up pretty strongly, my portfolio will probably underperform just a little bit, but I'm certainly okay with that. I would definitely classify myself as more of a defensive investor in general, so I'm fine with that. I'm just looking to, over long periods of time, hopefully beat the market. I think, ultimately that's the goal for most people who invest in individual stocks. But at this point in time, most of my, investments are just in index funds that pretty much just track the market. This dividend portfolio for me is so far been a fantastic learning opportunity about investing, and hopefully it will be a good investing opportunity over the long run. But right now, it doesn't really represent a super significant portion of my overall investments. So I'm really not all that worried if it underperforms just a little bit, especially since, the first year or two, for sure, I was definitely learning a lot and making mistakes. And I'm definitely, still making mistakes and learning a lot and improving as I go. So I hope that makes it relatable for some of you guys that might be newer investors as well. I've been investing, 3 years, a little bit more than that, but I would still say that's pretty new investor in the grand scheme of things, in terms of my full lifetime and how long I'll be likely investing into the future. So hopefully it's relatable, and let me know, what mistakes you guys have made and what you have learned from it. I love hearing from other people's mistakes, and I've certainly shared my share of mistakes as well, so that hopefully other people can learn from that. And I would love to hear how much you guys received in dividends in the month of February and how your portfolio performed, and if there's any specific stocks that you are pretty interested in right now because of their attractive valuation. I would love to hear about all that and anything else you want to share down in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure to do that so you don't miss out on future dividend investing videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.